Do I have everybody's attention now?
This is it, Josh! This is it!
Whoa! Here's Cody, Eric, and Tom from WrestlePoint here to review Monday Night Raw from October 4th, the second day of the draft. Cody's laughing because he's like, "Oh, he did a great job at this intro," and now it's happening. So, how are you guys doing? Hello.
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Eric is good as well, I can tell.
Eric's connection sucks. Just letting you guys know.
My connection's not off to a very good start, but we're gonna see what happens. Great,
because Dom's connection sucks too. So I guess EST WP is gonna run the show yet again.
Connection is great.
Yeah. So, before we start, let's preface it by saying, so obviously this is night 2 of the draft. There were 6 rounds of draft picks in this episode. We're gonna mention who got drafted, but we're not really gonna talk about it today because we're gonna have a big draft reactions episode that we're filming tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be out tomorrow, but it'll be out at some point this week. Yeah, we talked about it. So we're not going to be. Yeah, so we're gonna mention who got drafted, but we're gonna go into analysis later this week. But anyway, let's get right into it. So first thing, we get Becky Lynch in ring, and it's nice. So this isn't about Becky. This is about the whole. This is a show wide thing for this week, and this is gonna be something that pisses me off until after Crown Jewel. This whole, we're going to draft you now, but the new rosters aren't going to be in effect for another 3 weeks. I think it's nonsense. And then you get a bunch of stuff like what you got on this episode, which is people from different brands coming over to fight for titles on brands they're not fighting for. And it makes, so nothing here was very unpredictable. But anyway, we'll get into that later. So Becky cuts a promo. Exactly what you'd expect. First she announces herself as the first pick for Monday Night Raw of Night 2, which was cool. I wasn't necessarily expecting, even though Charlotte got moved to SmackDown, I wasn't really expecting.
We don't want to get too into the draft picks.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Let's see what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. I was thinking because this is a separate segment in the draft round, so I got sidetracked a little bit. But anyway, so she cuts a promo saying, Raw's my house now, and then she calls out Charlotte. Charlotte comes out. Charlotte says 3 or 4 words before Bianca Belair comes out, and so again, another show-wide thing was this crowd was pretty on the dead side for most of the night, but I noticed it a lot more with Bianca Belair. She got very little reaction. She was saying, and the reason I noticed it is because the promo she cut wasn't bad. So she had a lot of lines where she would leave moments for the crowd to pop, and the crowd just wouldn't pop. Like, she was like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like I'm on Raw now. And she holds, and the crowd says nothing. And she says and then when she comes out and she's like, you guys talking about unfinished business, pause, crowd says nothing. So she's cutting this, she's trying to cut this babyface promo to get the crowd on her side, but the crowd just was not into it. So I mean, it was also a bad crowd, but if you're over, you're going to be over. Like, Becky got pretty good reactions. Charlotte got pretty decent reactions. She got Charlotte Sucks chance, which was good, but Bianca got absolutely nothing this whole time. And I'm not going to lie, as soon as Bianca got in, and not because it's Bianca, but because I pretty much knew exactly where this was going to go, I wasn't into the last part of this segment because she and Becky cut the exact same promos on each other. They have been. Becky actually, because Bianca shifted gears towards Charlotte, and I actually really liked Becky just kind of egging them on into a match together. I think she was a really good, snarky heel in this, and then it ends with a main event being set of Charlotte versus Bianca, which I'll talk about my thoughts on that later. But it was a solid opening segment. I just thought I was surprised at how little reaction Bianca got from the crowd.
Yeah. So that's probably I just felt like Bianca kind of felt like a third wheel because Becky and Charlotte have such a storied history that's yeah, you're putting her in here, and Bianca tried to be hip with oh, you don't go here, and stuff like that.
That actually made sense because the day before it was Mean Girls Day.
Oh,
so I get that. Yeah, October 3rd. October 3rd, man. Oh. uncultured swine.
Who gives a fuck? I mean, like, come on.
But yeah, so I did love the moment where Charlotte said when I was main eventing, you were pre-showing or something like that. That was a pretty cool jab. These two, they know each other. They know how to gauge under each other's skin in a kayfabe sense. So I didn't mind it. The crowd was very dead tonight. It just like it didn't pop. I just can't stand Bianca's dancing. Like I
didn't think it was as bad in this segment because she only danced. She kind of did what Sasha did. She danced a little bit on the stage, but then once she started making her way down the ramp, it was business. I was fine with that.
Yeah. So Dom, you have any input on this? You're muted. Oh, no, never mind.
It takes a little bit to unmute myself.
Bianca's lipstick is very trippy though. If you ever look at it, it like shines so bright. It's like, oh fuck. But yeah, that was just it was a decent promo. I also did not like that how many superstars were on the show. Like, if you're gonna do a draft and say it doesn't take an effect until the certain date, don't have those people on the show. Just me.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And then so the next thing we got, this is something that bugged. So I've had I hated this episode a lot. And I'm going to be a very differing opinion because a lot of my issues were with the formatting of the show because it was formatted so fucking poorly. So this is what happened every single time they went to a break. So first of all, while they're still in the ring, while the girls are still in the ring, they say, well, now we have a United States title match, and Jeff Hardy immediately starts making his entrance, and the ring's not even clear yet. And then so they go to break after saying, coming up next, we have a United States title match. And then they come back from break into round one of the draft. So you can't introduce a segment like this is what's coming up next, and then come back on something completely different. And they did that constantly on this show. It was really, really annoying. But anyway. So we come back to round one of the draft, and I'm just going to say the names. Yeah, so I'm just going to say the names here. I've got the picks in front of me. So Raw, they announced, gets Becky Lynch and Bobby Lashley. SmackDown gets the Usos and Sasha Banks. That's round one. So round one in the books, and then we get our United States title match of Jeff Hardy versus Damian Priest. And so I've been talking about how I like seeing Jeff Hardy on TV, but this is what I was talking about at the beginning, why it's pissing me off that we're going to draft you, but you're not quite on that roster yet because Damian Priest is a Raw champion taking on Jeff Hardy, a SmackDown superstar. We know who's going to win the match, and it's not because Jeff Hardy's on a completely different brand. It was really hard for me to get into this. It didn't get too much time. Nothing egregiously bad happened. They don't have off-the-charts chemistry. It wasn't a fantastic match. So Damian Priest obviously won. The finish was kind of cool. I just had a little bit of an issue with, Jeff Hardy hits his finisher and Damian Priest immediately rolls him up. I think it kind of buried his finisher. It buried his finisher a little bit.
He didn't just roll him up like right away. He kicked out.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it buried his finisher a little bit. But there was nothing terrible about this match. What I had a problem with was the post match. Jeff Hardy, they have the interviewer comes in and says, Jeff, how does it feel to be on SmackDown? He cuts a little promo, then Austin Theory comes out. I love Austin Theory, but this was so horrible. He comes out and he's like, I'm such a huge fan. I grew up watching you. I'm like, this is my dream come true, being in the ring with Jeff Hardy. Will you please take a selfie with me? Which who does that anymore? Or like,
people take taking selfies. If I were to see a famous person, I want to take a selfie with them.
I don't know if that felt dated to me, but then like they take a selfie together, and then Austin Theory lays him out and leaves.
You
I thought
wouldn't
that was
take a
so
selfie with me,
stupid.
Cody?
No,
I don't know. But
no, you don't know.
Like, so they take
no.
Yeah, so they take a selfie. They take a selfie together. Austin Theory lays out Jeff Hardy and leaves. I thought, because now like Austin Theory, he got drafted by Raw.
Yeah,
he can't possibly be feuding with Jeff Hardy because Jeff's on SmackDown. None of it made sense.
It's not to say.
Yeah,
I actually like this.
I did like this as well. Yeah, I agree.
I also just didn't like how he entered. Like I'm all for Austin Theory making an impact as a heel, but I don't like how he came in and saying, "Oh my gosh, I want to take a selfie with you." There's better ways. Just come in and beat him up. Don't do a
that's generic. I like.
Yeah, but he was being the cocky. He was being like the guy that like. I don't know how to explain it, but the guy that's trying to be like, oh, hey, buddy, and then just like I'm better than you.
Emulating, maybe. I don't know.
You can
I
be
did
buddy
like-
buddy without being a
Jeff
fanboy.
Hardy's- I did like
He
Jeff
wasn't
Hardy.
being a fanboy. He was acting up so he can get a cheap shot
No,
on it.
he said, "This is my dream. I'm so
Then
happy."
he-
to be
then
the
why
one
would he
who's
hit him?
helping you." That's
What do you mean?
fanboying.
Oh my
It's-
god, Eric! Oh
That's
my
fa-
god!
Are you
It was
funny?
fake fanboying, though. He
But it's
obviously wasn't
fanboying. That's
fanboying.
fanboying.
Really
Obviously,
fake,
you would
though.
be
Still
fanboying
fanboy.
if you're a young guy watching Jeff
That's
Hardy
still-
go off a little bit, and then
Agree to disagree. Agree to
I
disagree.
think
We got a lot
Eric's
to get. We got a lot to get through. We got a lot
I
to get
think Eric's wrong on this just for
through. No,
the
you're
fact- for the
100% correct.
No, just for the fact because like he obviously wasn't like fanboying completely because he hit his finisher on him.
Exactly.
I did like Jeff Hardy's promo before this though.
Jeff Hardy
did
does
like
good
it a lot.
promos, man.
I actually
promos.
don't usually enjoy his promos, but I did like that one.
I love his like old 08 promos. Those were good.
All right.
Oh,
So
wait,
anything else? Anything else on this?
No, it's
No, it was a good match though.
Yeah. Okay. So next we get a backstage segment with RK Bro, and so last week, not last week, our last show, I dug into you guys for never being able to admit when your favorite wrestlers do something bad. I'm gonna set an example right now. I not only didn't like what Riddle did here because I never like Riddle, I didn't like Randy Orton's promo either. I thought it was like up until because at first he cuts Riddle off and says, I don't even remember what stupid shit Riddle said, but like Randy cuts him off and starts talking about like defending the tag titles at Crown Jewel, and it was really, he was clearly acting. He was clearly reciting lines that were given to him. He's like, this is so not a Randy Orton thing. He's like, we have the opportunity to defend these titles, and it was so generic. I really hated it. And then he calls out Amos. He's like, but this part I kind of like he calls out Amos. Amos, I want to go one-on-one with you, basically. It's like, choice is yours. Say yes or no. I still, overall, I really did not like this.
So I did not like it either. I also didn't like that they dragged this out so much. Like, will Amos accept the challenge? Will he accept
Oh
the
my
challenge?
God, yeah.
And then he ends up not accepting the challenge, basically. So it's like,
Yeah.
Boring.
So then we get so Shayna. So I mentioned the formatting of the show earlier. So the very next thing that happens is Shayna Baszler makes her entrance, and they say Shayna Baszler will be taking on Dana Brooke. Then they go to break, and we come back not on the match, but on round 2 of the draft. Like stop introducing a segment and coming back on something completely different. So round 2 of the draft, Raw takes Seth Rollins and Damian Priest. SmackDown takes Sheamus and the combo of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. There we go. Round 2 in the books. Again, we will go in depth on the draft later this week. So then we get Shayna Baszler and Dana Brooke. And it's funny that Dana Brooke got a match here because we talked about her in our Rampage review when we were talking about how they randomly billboarded Hikaru Shida's match. Like imagine if WWE randomly billboarded a Dana Brooke match like a week in advance, and then Dana Brooke comes out to get squashed. The match itself was fine. It did what it needed to do. Shayna got over in less than 2 minutes, and then Shayna's beating her up outside the ring. And then it got stupid because Doudrop came out. I'm glad that Doudrop's not fucking around with Eva Marie anymore, but she comes in, and I'm hoping Shayna's just going to lay waste to her too. But no, Shayna like hits her from behind once, and then they make eye contact, and Shayna like just backs off. Like, why are you having Shayna retreating from somebody?
I don't think she was retreating. I think she was more like, I don't have to deal with this crap. Like more
Still,
than like,
yeah, it's still like there was. They obviously are teasing that Doudrop is Shayna's next opponent.
Wait,
and
did
I just don't care.
I don't think so. I know that what they're teasing, but Shayna got drafted to SmackDown.
Doudrop is on Raw still, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, but don't forget, she's not on SmackDown until October 22nd or whatever.
I guarantee you.
I don't understand this crap, bro.
So
I don't feel like I'm not saying they're gonna have a prolonged feud. I'm just saying it looks like Doudrop will be the next person that fights Shayna. Because why else would they have Shayna come out? Have Doudrop come out and confront her?
Yeah.
I will
to
say
save Dana.
I will say this. I know we're not getting into the draft, but if this is one of my favorite picks of all the picks that were picked. Shayna
to SmackDown?
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
SmackDown feels
I
like
do agree.
SmackDown feels like more of the women's wrestling brand at this point, and that's good for her. But yeah, Doudrop, I kind of like that because Doudrop kind of looked like a badass there, like, and I do love that they are literally picking the women that the fans hate the most, having Shayna crush them. It's
That's
the funniest.
genius. That's
Like, I can't
genius.
stand Nia Jax. I can't stand Eva Marie, and I hate Dana Brooke. So
The problem, see, again though, the problem is they want her to be a heel, but the crowd is loving that she's putting these people on the shelf.
She needs to put
So it's
Carmella
very-
and Zelina Vega out next.
If she does that, she's gonna be
or
that's like full baby.
Carmella and Zelina Vega at once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be full baby face right there.
That's
Yeah, so
good.
the next thing we actually, did you have anything on this, Dom?
Nope. Let's keep going.
Okay, so I was actually really disappointed in what we got next, because it started out. So we get it's a bloodline minus Roman. It's the Usos and Paul Heyman backstage, and my immediate thought is, here we go, Paul Heyman. Let's see it, because the Usos are celebrating. The Usos are celebrating getting drafted to SmackDown, and in the background, Paul's just like, thank God, yeah, because that was like his big job for the week, and then the interviewer comes up. It's a male interview.
That was later.
Really,
Wasn't that later in the night? Didn't they have 2 segments?
No, I think this was. I think it
No,
was this one.
No, it was 2 segments.
I don't have the bloodline on
So-
any other thing in my notes.
So when the Usos got drafted, that's what you're referencing when Paul Heyman goes like this. But in later in the night when they're leaving, the interviewer comes up.
this
So-
is what I'm saying. I don't mean when they get drafted and they show their reaction. This is all the same segment I'm talking about.
No, it doesn't. It's 2 different ones.
All right,
Well,
let's just review it.
Either way,
I'm
this
just
is
saying it's 2 different ones.
okay. Well, what I'm at this point in the show, this is when they were leaving. The interviewer comes out, and it's not Kayla Braxton, and he asks Paul, do you think this is in any way due to your influence? And Paul, I like that he's keeping Kayla Braxton in the story, because he's like, you're better than Kayla or something like that. Like,
He said you're much better looking.
much
than
better,
Kayla.
yeah. And he says, like, of course this is my influence. He starts like, I'm not just the whatever he calls him, whatever title he gives himself to Roman. I forget what it
A
is.
wise man.
Yeah, he says something like that. And then he's like, I'm also the warden of the Uso Penitentiary.
I like that.
And I liked that. But then everything else after this was really dumb. But then the interviewer, he asked a great question. Yes. Is that how you got Brock to be a free agent? I liked that, because the Usos look at him. And then the Usos walk away. Paul never answers the question, and the interviewer just walks away. What interviewer asks a question and then leaves before getting an answer? That made absolute this.
So that's
I was
not why I
disappointed
didn't.
because this made no sense.
So that's not why I didn't like this. I didn't like this because we found out Brock Lesnar was a free agent on SmackDown. We see the Usos' reaction. So why do we have to see it again? I don't. That's the only thing I didn't like about this. I mean, if Paul Heyman's mean mugging you after a question, I'm like, I'm not asking another question. Let him go off. I'm not getting super kicked by the Usos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So next, we got a tag team match of Mansoor and Mustafa Ali against Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo.
Oh, I forgot.
Actually, this-
I forgot.
It was a handicap match.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
so I actually decided this week I was actually going to watch the match, because I've been saying once I notice they're moving up the card, I'll watch Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. And unfortunately, the one I watched it might have been the shortest match they had.
Yeah.
I was actually excited because
They've only fought twice, right?
Huh?
They've only fought twice.
They
This
fought
is the time.
They also had a singles match with one of the Viking Raiders. But anyway, Angel Garza had a match against Eric of the Viking Raiders. But
Oh, I thought you meant you're gonna watch this version of this match.
no. I meant I'll watch Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza.
Okay.
Yeah, and so unfortunately, this was the shortest match I think they might have had. But it was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I hate that Ali keeps eating the pins because he's so talented. But
Yeah.
there's not much to say here. Angel Garza and Carrillo won very quickly again. I hope WWE actually starts moving them legitimately up the card before watching them squash teams that we know don't mean anything gets old.
I mean, where they got drafted, I'm not sure there's much hope.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
And that's a shame. So the next thing so before the ring gets cleared, they again have the next person start making their entrance before the segment's even over. Big E comes out, his music hits, and then they say, "We're going to hear from Big E after the break." And after the break, guess what was on?
The draft.
Round 3 of the draft, not Big E. Round 3 of the draft, because they keep lying to us. So round 3 of the draft, Raw takes AJ Styles and Omos and Kevin Owens. SmackDown takes Shayna Baszler and Xia Li. Then we get Big E in the ring to cut a promo. And I like it. Big E, I like it. I like his promos. I like his voice. He's talking about how he's glad that he's glad to be drafted by Raw. He's glad that Raw is his show. He talks but of course it's a bummer that Woods and Kofi aren't here, even though they're at the fucking show. They have a match later. So,
I didn't realize until they came out after. I'm like, wow, that was really dumb for him to say.
Yeah, it was an awful timing to say, but I get what he was saying. He said they're not here on the Raw roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, then he continues. He says, "It appears my first challenger has already made himself known. Which again, it makes no sense because your next challenger got drafted by the other brand. So, but he calls out Drew McIntyre, and since he calls out Drew McIntyre, meaning Drew McIntyre wasn't in kayfabe, as far as the audience is concerned, was not expected to come out. So why was there Why was there already a sheath for his sword on the ring post? These things make no sense. But anyway, Drew comes out. I digress. Drew comes out. I didn't care because he's on SmackDown. So this doesn't matter. They'll have a match for the title, probably a crown jewel, but it doesn't matter.
I think it's confirmed. That's confirmed.
It's confirmed.
He said after the tag team match. Spoiler.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get to why.
I'm just saying. He said I'll see you at Crown Jewel or something like that.
Because I actually didn't know it was confirmed because they go back and forth for a little bit, and then the Dirty Dogs come out, and I immediately knew exactly what this was leading to. So I skipped their promo and I skipped the match.
So actually,
I knew exactly what was coming here.
So actually, I like the promo a lot. From Ziggler.
Oh, I didn't. The promo could have been the best thing ever. I didn't because I knew exactly what I knew. The exact same thing was going to happen as what happened on SmackDown. Ziggler and Roode, out of the four, the two guys that are by far the better workers are going to lose, and it's going to make no sense.
We're going to have this discussion again. We had it in the chat. I'm not going into it. I disagree.
So the only thing is Ziggler was like, "You guys owe me. You owe me a thank you." Because Big E started out with Ziggler as his bodyguard.
That's true.
And then I'm surprised an AJ Lee chant didn't get started because they were not
from this promo.
And then Ziggler asked for Drew McIntyre thank you because they were tag team champions. But the best part of this whole thing, this match and this segment, was Big Bob. Bobby Roode called himself. Bobby Roode called himself Big Bob.
It's hilarious.
One of the best, most polished workers in the business, and there's fucking him so hard.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Yeah, so they had a match. I didn't watch it.
I honestly,
here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that makes the business has gone away from, and this is part of the reason why tag team wrestling, for the most part, outside of AEW, is fucking dead, is because things like this happen. It stands to it does not, just because Big E and Drew McIntyre are great singles wrestlers. In the old days, the Dirty Dogs would win this match because they're the tag, because they're the tag team. Because they you can laugh, but it is 100% true. But this
I'm not laughing.
Yeah, shut up. But the Dirty Dogs in the old days would win this match because they're the tag team. Two singles guys should not, no matter who it could be. It could have been Big E and Roman Reigns, but they're still two singles wrestlers. So they lose.
New Japan has some good tag team.
But you say the old days, what do you mean by old days? Do you mean ruthless aggression? Because I remember when John Cena and Shawn Michaels tag teamed and they won the championships.
Before ruthless aggression, when there were 10 million people, when there was 8 figures watching wrestling, when it was at its most popular.
Like when Austin and Triple H won the title.
Before that.
Yeah, okay.
That's what era he meant. He meant the Attitude Era.
That's what you said before. The
Attitude Era was the most. I think that's the most popular time of wrestling. So.
For different reasons, but back when wrestling made sense in the territory.
Okay, let's move.
The 1940s when Bruno held the championship for 2 decades.
You guys will just never understand. You grew up in sports entertainment and you never bothered to learn.
Oh well.
God.
Whatever, move on.
Eric
Yeah, I
Tyler.
honestly, this match was on my TV. I just didn't watch it. I'm done with Drew McIntyre until he's on SmackDown permanently. Then I'll give him a chance.
All right, let's move on.
Now, speaking of things that I haven't cared about for a long time, we had Reggie come backstage, and he says he goes to Adam Pearce like, Adam, I hear you wanted to talk to me. He's like, oh no, I didn't. Which means like, oh, there's another one of Drake Maverick's master plans. Here comes okay. Tell me why this makes sense. So R-Truth comes up from behind him, and instead of pinning him,
There's no ref.
the ref was right there. Yes, he was. He was right there.
Oh,
There was a
watched
ref right
twice.
behind him.
Eric watched twice. He made sure the ref was
There was a
there.
ref right behind him, and instead of pinning him, R-Truth just grabs him from behind, and Reggie slips out of his jacket like he's done countless times, and then Drake Maverick starts driving at him in a golf cart, and before he gets to him, he slams on the brakes. Why were you driving at him if you didn't want to fucking hit him? And then we just get a
Did he
regular.
wanna get convicted of murder?
Then we just get a.
That's murder.
Yeah.
It had,
Hey,
Roman Reigns ran into Kevin Owens on a golf cart.
Roman
and
Reigns
then
at the table. He has some great lawyers. He knows.
anyway,
He knows.
But anyway, it was another tired 24/7 title segment. I don't care about it anymore.
That was great. Let's move on.
Yeah. And then, then next we got even this might have been the most this next part might have been the most nonsensical part of the show because Kevin Owens comes out to cut a promo. I'm thinking Happy Corbin's going to show up. Before Kevin Owens gets a word out, we hear music that I've never heard before, and it's Akira Tozawa comes out. Akira Tozawa takes the mic.
This is funny.
Yep. Akira Tozawa takes the mic and says, like, sorry to interrupt. I want a match with Reggie right now. And Kevin Owens hits a stunner, which you knew he would. And then he leaves. So I ask you this. Why did Kevin Owens come out? He clearly had nothing to say, or else he would have just said it after he hit the stunner on Akira Tozawa.
I mean,
he came out.
It's very awkward.
It's
very awkward to start cutting a promo with a dead small Asian man laying down in the ring. I also what was I gonna say? I do not like Kevin Owens using this stunner. I'm very against it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever said that, but I'm very against him using a stunner.
Why is he not used to?
I love the pump up powerbomb. I thought that move was so sick, and he's just stopped using it completely.
So stupid. Oh.
Maybe because everybody reversed the pump up powerbomb every single time he did it. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, this was just another stupid. This was just another Monday Night Raw. Let's just give everyone a quick giggle and fly in the face of like things that make logical sense. Like Kevin Owens, I'm fine with him stunning Akira Tozawa. That's fine. But then you came out to say something. Go ahead and say it. Don't just leave, because that's telling the audience that this is all a bunch of shit. And Kevin Owens just kind of came out for no reason. But
Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so next they said upcoming we have a women's tag team title match after the break. So naturally after the break we get round 4 of the draft and not said title match. And round 4 of the draft, Raw takes the Street Profits and Finn Balor. SmackDown takes the Viking Raiders and Ricochet. And then there was a women's tag team title match that, I mean, I'm glad we got this because we haven't seen them we haven't seen Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley fight Natalya and Tamina in like 10 years, right? Or was it like 2 weeks ago that we've seen them?
No,
and we saw them the week before that, and the week before that, and the week before that, and the week before that. So I skipped it, didn't care.
Before we talk about this, I have a statement to make. I am refusing to be mean to Tamina because I seen a video of her beat up a man. So I am all set making fun of Tamina. She is a great wrestler, probably the best wrestler in the company besides Sasha Banks. She deserves the best. She needs a women's title run ASAP.
She's very credible. I'll say that. Very credible.
Did anyone watch this match?
No.
I know.
Good. It's okay. So next, after this, after the match,
wait. I did watch 1 second of it, and it was a botch. It was such a Rhea Ripley could not pick up Nikki Ash to save her life.
Of course. Yeah. So next, they say after the break, we're gonna have a face-to-face with Goldberg and Lashley. So when we come back from break, naturally it's round 5 of the draft, and not a face-to-face with Goldberg and Lashley. And in round 5, Raw drafts Karrion Kross and Alexa Bliss. SmackDown takes Carrillo and Angel Garza as a tag team and also Cesaro. Then we get the face-to-face. So Goldberg comes out, cuts a promo. Same promo he's cut every time we've seen him since SummerSlam. So I didn't care. I was waiting for Lashley to come out. Lashley comes out. Lashley, he says good. Like again, like Lashley's not bad on the mic as far as saying words that are good. It's just his voice and his delivery. I can't like his voice is just very. You look at that big beast, and you hear this like weird voice.
I know this comparison might make sense to Eric, but not Dom, because I know Dom doesn't watch football. Eric, do you know who Troy Polamalu is?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, his voice is like a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah,
It's
exactly that. That's the vibe I get from when I hear Bobby Lashley talk. Is that voice should not come out of that man. But yeah, so Bobby Lashley says, "I'll give you your match at Crown Jewel on one condition: it must be no holds barred," which is fine. A no holds barred match, like if Goldberg is going to win, I'd rather it be in a no holds barred match where you can use a bunch of gimmicks and Lashley might have kind of an out because it's not a straight up wrestling match. And then Goldberg drops to his knees and thanks the gods that Lashley made it no holds barred. He's like basically says, "Well, I have a light like that gives you a license to kill. Like now you're not just next, you're dead," and which would be a fine way to end the promo. But then Lashley has to say well, I ask you this, Bill. What would you do if someone jumps you from behind? And then the Hurt Business jumps Goldberg from behind, and Goldberg lays them both out. Here's the one thing that they were missing here. So first of all, just so pissed what they're doing with the Hurt Business. Like this is why you bring them back together, but this is what they missed. Well, maybe I missed this. Maybe they did do this. So Lashley says, "What would you do if you got jumped from behind?" And then he kicks the shit out of the Hurt Business. He should have picked up the mic and said, "I'd do that."
You know why he wouldn't do that? Because Goldberg is not good. Like he's not a comedian like that. He's not. That's
not comedy. I don't think that's comedy. That's more like.
I think it would have been funny.
That's like
you beat up a child. Yeah, but I think
Goldberg's not bad enough. Whatever.
You know what Lashley could have said? I make this promo 10 times better right here. When Goldberg says that gives me license to kill, and Lashley should have been like, "Well, your matches last 5 minutes, so if you can't kill me in 5 minutes, there's no way you're killing me."
I'm sure they both could have.
But I swear to God, I swear on if fucking Goldberg beats Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel, I'm gonna fucking
Goldberg beat the Undertaker at Crown Jewel. He beat the Undertaker at Crown Jewel.
I mean, the Undertaker.
I don't know if Goldberg. I don't know if Goldberg.
You know what else he did to the Undertaker? Almost handicapped the man. So
yes. True. Yeah, I think Goldberg's undefeated. In Saudi Arabia.
What a streak that!
But anyway,
potential.
I
think Brock Lesnar's also undefeated in Saudi Arabia.
So yeah,
theories.
True. Yeah. So the next thing we got. Oh boy! The next thing we got was. I challenge you, Cody. You love Seth Rollins. Tell me this wasn't the most obnoxious thing you've ever heard. This Seth Rollins promo.
Okay, so it didn't make sense at all, but it was fucking funny.
Oh my God, this was so bad.
Seth Rollins isn't like, I don't consider him a serious character, like really most of the time, unless it has to do with what.
Still, this was just
he's the king of drip. But I very much do not like that him and Edge are in the same brand.
Yeah, I could, as soon as Seth, he prances up and he starts. Oh my God,
That's hilarious, but other than that, I didn't really care for the promo.
I hated this. I really.
You don't like people dancing?
Well, you knew most likely that when Becky got drafted to Raw, Seth Rollins was.
Oh, I have no problem with Seth being on Raw. We'll get into that in our draft reactions video, but this was. We've now had the last 2 times I've seen Seth Rollins, I've hated what he's done.
I have a question for
Eric.
Eric.
And the Edge's house thing.
I have a question for Eric because I feel like I know the answer. I just want to confirm it. Remember the time Brock Lesnar won the Money in the Bank and he used it as a boombox dancing? Did you hate it?
It was pretty dumb.
Okay, we'll move on.
I love that.
It was great, but Eric will think it's dumb. I just confirming. I understood.
Well, was Otis using the Money in the Bank briefcase as a lunchbox dumb, or was that great?
That was funny, yeah.
That was kind of dumb.
It was dumb,
I'm
but
at
funny.
least
Just
I'm
because
at
it's
least
dumb
gonna,
doesn't
I'm at
mean
least
it
gonna be
cannot be funny.
consistent.
That's all
I'm
I'm
at least
saying.
gonna be
Okay,
consistent.
but no.
If one
There's
thing's
a
dumb,
difference.
it's all dumb.
There's a difference because, like, yeah, Brock Lesnar is listening to it, but Brock Lesnar, when it comes down to it, he's gonna cash that baby
Yeah,
in
I mean,
successfully.
comparing Otis to Brock Lesnar, that's a big stretch.
Yeah, Otis is so much better in the ring.
Anyways.
But anyway, I'll just be consistent. I'm at least consistent. If I think one thing is stupid, I think every iteration of it is stupid.
Yeah, that's why I was just
But-
making sure.
Anyway, yeah. But anyway, so next, this broke my heart. I couldn't believe this. So you know how like Big E was saying it's a bummer that I'm not on the same show as Woods and Kofi. Naturally, they're back. So the New Day comes out. I couldn't believe my eyes when the New Day came out. I'm like, what was the point of that whole promo from Big E? Yeah, they come out and like, okay, so who are they beating? Because they're not going to lose. It's the goddamn Hurt Business. It's Shelton and Cedric. They're out to lose a match. They just got the shit kicked out of them by a 50-year-old. Now
Yeah,
they're going
that's
to
why
do
they
a
lost.
job. Yeah, now they're going to do a job. This is why did you bring them back together? Why bring the Hurt Business back together? If you're just
Eric, what credibility does the New Day have if they lose to two guys that just got fucking beat out by a 50-year-old?
I'm just saying, don't have the fucking match again.
Also, I do have
next week's Raw looks like this. It starts on a blank piece of paper. Nothing has to happen. Nothing has to happen. It's not like they just showed up and like, we have to do something with these two in the same ring. Have the New Day beat someone else, not who you just.
Also, Dom's gonna be mad at this when I say this. So Dom, you might want to listen up.
Oh boy.
I am very against Xavier Woods winning King of the Ring.
Wait, is that a thing?
King of the do you know? Well, that's not a rumor. It's not a rumor, but Xavier Woods, his months on Twitter, like years, has been like clamoring for the King of the Ring to come back.
Why not?
It was back like 2 years ago.
Because he's been like, if you advocate on Twitter like I should win, like that's not a case for you to win.
How seriously has Xavier Woods ever been treated as a single to the point where you
believe
he could win a tournament?
I agree with you, but he has to.
I guarantee you, he will be in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. I will guarantee you that.
We'll definitely make a bracket prediction for those. That's going to be fun.
Well, we have to do it soon because it starts Friday.
Wait, do we know the bracket though?
No, I don't think they.
Also,
we can't do it.
What'd you say? So Cody, what'd you say in the chat about? Is there a women's? Is there Queen of the Ring?
Queen. It's called Queen Crown something. What's it called?
1 second.
I'll take things I just don't. Unless
you want
unless
that,
the bracket,
that. I would love
unless the bracket. I would love it if the bracket was the Horsewomen, Rhea Ripley. If it was like an 8-person bracket and it was the 4 Horsewomen, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler,
Liv Morgan,
and like Liv 2 other women that can go. But what it's probably going to be like Liv Morgan will probably be. Then it's probably going to be like Carmella, Dana. I
can see you.
All these Zelina Vega.
Yeah, exactly. If it has the women that should be in it, it's going to be pretty decent. But
it's like, be great, but they're not going to be. Like I don't think at least since in the modern like King of the Ring hasn't happened too many times in the modern era, but every time it's happened, I don't think there's been like main eventers on it. Like Sheamus won it in 2016, and he was he did. He beat Neville. It was 2015 or 2016. They had King of the Ring, and Sheamus beat Neville in the finals. It was sometime around there, and then
never beat him in the finals.
That was a different one. That was going into.
Let's not get into it now. We can get on to it and make our predictions for it.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. It was Barrett. I was wrong.
Look at me.
I got some bad news.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah. But anyway, so the next thing we got, RK Bro comes to the ring to see if Omos is going to accept the challenge. I don't remember what Randy said at the beginning of this because their promo segment earlier just took me out of them completely. And he said the one line like that. I telegraphed this line completely. He was like, "Are you really AJ's giant like personal colossus?" And immediately I knew, or are you a giant bitch? I knew he'd say those exact words. He said big bitch. He didn't say giant bitch, but knew exactly what he was going to say. And then they come out and
I forgot to mention that Seth Rollins said shit.
Oh, he did say shit.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he said he doesn't give a shit.
He tweeted, well, we can say shit now on TV because NXT's been doing it because they're going edgier. And he said shit. So that was cool.
Yeah, so AJ and Amos come out. AJ cuts a promo. I really was not paying attention to this because I don't. Honestly, the fact that they're having a match at Crown Jewel, I'm not super excited for it. I'm kind of ready for this. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm kind of ready for this feud to be over and RK Bro to go on to other things.
Honestly, I think we all agree.
I think it's sad just because I don't know if like this feud will definitely be over just because they're both on the same brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Because AJ refuses to.
I mean, Street Profits are there now, so they might feud with.
Yeah, but
I forgot to mention after the New Day buried the Hurt Business, of course the Street Profits come out so they can celebrate in the ring, but who fucking cares?
I think they're only doing it at Crown Jewel because like Crown Jewel's very big on like having like stars and like Randy Orton, like it's like an old school star sort of now. So I think they're very big on that stuff. So that's probably why they're having that match.
Yeah.
So AJ cuts a promo and he says, like, I can't wait to take the titles from you. I'm glad we're on the same brand so that when we take those titles, we can shove them in your face every week. And then so Amos finally gets the mic to respond. So this made no sense. This was a bad episode for Randy Orton as far as making sense goes. Because Amos is like, and as far as your proposition, and before Amos can answer the challenge that Randy Orton put out, before Randy Orton gets an answer to his own question, Randy punches AJ.
He was getting impatient.
I don't understand all this.
He was getting impatient.
Yeah, and then there's a brawl. So
let's just move on.
Yeah,
let's move on.
So next they said, so they say, and now it's main event time after the break. So we come back from break to draft round 6, not the main event. And round 6 of the draft, Raw takes Carmella and Gable Steveson, and SmackDown takes Ridge Holland and Sami Zayn. And then we get the main event of Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, we can't just. I mean,
SmackDown.
we're going to go over the draft, but it was.
SmackDown takes Sami.
SmackDown did take Sami Zayn. I don't know what Dom's doing.
Okay, so Dom's one first.
Dom, you're lying.
So we get
you made a joke. No one heard it.
That's cool.
Yes,
Sami Zayn's in SmackDown. That's very cool.
He was on SmackDown before.
Yeah, so
Exactly. That's the
so now we get the main event: Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair. So I hinted at this with you guys in the chat. So I knew exactly what was going to happen. From the second the opening segment ended, I knew exactly what was going to happen in this match. I knew they'd have a great match. I knew that Becky would interfere, and I knew Sasha would lay them all out at the end. So I had no reason to pay attention to this. I didn't fast forward it, kept it going, but wasn't really giving it the time of day because when you know there's going to be a fuck finish, but you know exactly what the fuck finish is going to be, and you know exactly what's going to happen afterward, really hard to get into the match. So I'm sure they had a great match, but
it was good.
Exactly what I knew.
Great.
Exactly what I knew would happen for 3 hours happened.
I think you're just psychic.
It's just obvious. This
is probably the best Raw ending in 25 years since Sasha was the last woman standing. Like she will be in Crown Jewel when she is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. We can just get the final thoughts honestly because this was predictable. But like I just don't like that like so much things are like there is some Crown Jewel matches that like it could go either way if we're being honest. Like I can see Goldberg and Bobby Lashley going either way. I can honestly say I know I'm saying this I'm crazy. I can see Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar going either way.
I could too.
Because Brock Lesnar just has something over Vince McMahon. I think he has a picture of Vince McMahon like giving head to some random stranger on the street corner. But but for this whole thing, I just don't like that like the SmackDown Women's Championship. Like we're pretty sure, right, that Sasha's winning that match.
Because unless weird developments happen in the next couple weeks on TV.
Unless they plan on switching the colors of the championship, where Charlotte holds the SmackDowns and Becky holds the Raw.
Yeah.
But so like I just don't like how predictable this is getting. Like if Damian Priest has a match, we know Damian Priest is different because he's protected, so it's different. Yeah. But like I just think like they did the draft a little too early for me because like we know everything.
Thank you. they either had the draft too early or Crown Jewel's too late because
Like, why don't they have it just the night after Crown Jewel? I don't understand.
I don't know like
Because I feel like that show will need filler because that is a long plane ride from Saudi Arabia to wherever they're going next. And I'm very upset that Walter did not get drafted last night.
Yeah, it's a shame. But
No,
There is rumors that he might be coming up to the United States soon to wrestle.
that'd be cool. I'd love that. But yeah, I agree. The draft it was a very weird time to have the draft because now we know where everyone's going, but now we're kind of in limbo where for the next there's still 4 shows. There's 2 Raws. Wait, right? No, there's 2 Raws and 3 SmackDowns before Crown Jewel.
I don't know.
Well,
so it isn't exactly. Let me see. Let me get my calendar out.
Either way, well, the point is,
What's 21 minus 5? What's 21 minus 5?
16.
It's 16 days. So there's 2 Raws and there's 2 SmackDowns and 2
Okay,
Raws.
so there's 4 shows where we're pretty much going to be seeing like Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bianca Belair. That feud, if whatever you want to call it, feud, conflict, whatever you want to call what's going on between the 4 of them, that's going to be traveling probably to both shows. And what more? We've seen twice they've done the exact same angle, just with different people, where they have a one-on-one match with Becky on commentary. Becky interferes, and then the one person that's not in it lays them out after the match. We've seen that twice now. Where do we have 4 shows? Where do we go from there? And how far can you go? How far are you willing to go? Where there will still leave some intrigue behind.
You don't want to. This is the thing where I really think that you shouldn't go too big right now, because you can't Sasha versus Charlotte. It's probably going to be a feud we're going to see for a SmackDown for probably a little while sooner rather than later. So you don't want to waste that all in this huge 4-person feud.
Plus, where does Charlotte even fit in with this? She's not in the triple threat. She just kind of showed up.
Charlotte is all about, but I do get it because Charlotte's all about proving that she's the best woman in the company, and I don't think you can argue that right now. These are the 3 other best women in the company.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Bayley because she's injured, so I'm not.
She's a free agent. She's a free agent now.
She also has a torn ACL, so she won't be back for a little.
And I know you're also not saying Nia Jax because she's injured. Eva Marie's injured, so we can't.
We're gonna say that.
Well, Dana Brooke, she got saved, so we still have a little bit of hope left for Charlotte. I mean, whatever.
Let's have lasting thoughts. I mean,
we have been.
okay.
If I could give an overall final thought on this show, I think it sucked. I think this show was awful, and the good stuff we had, there's no long-term booking future for it because it was between people who in 3 weeks will be on different shows.
The draft overall felt very underwhelming.
Yeah.
I
guess it's very much like what are we doing here? It's so
We'll have separate thoughts on the draft as a whole when we film our draft reactions, obviously.
Yeah.
But I agree. It was just a
clusterfuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
So before we sign off, we did put our picks to our prediction game.
I have no objection about these points.
Oh my god!
I think we all have objections.
No, Dom. It shouldn't. The people.
Why?
The people. It wasn't on TV.
That's not so.
If I wanted to pick a jobber, to get
it doesn't matter.
Dom, if I'm not objecting, the person that didn't get to make real picks, you don't get, and allowing you to make the most obvious picks on planet Earth, there will be no objections.
BS.
No.
You know that. That's BS.
It's
I
not.
literally had the pick right.
So, technically, we never said switch brands. We just said drafted. Technically,
Okay, fine. Everyone gets points. How about that?
Are we serious? Are we serious?
Yeah,
No,
so
we're not serious. No, we're not
And
serious.
you guys really want to go with that? Then everyone of our pick. So, well, there we go.
No, not everyone. I picked Raquel Gonzalez.
So I had 27 points going into the draft. After my 0 points I got from the draft because I had 0 actual picks that you guys didn't allow me to make. Oh, the Veer one did irk me to my core, though. That really did. Yeah, I
I
picked.
would have fought. I honestly, Eric, I would have fought if Veer got drafted after the show. I would have had the same reasoning. Like if he's not,
he got drafted after the show too, Raw. But like,
Yeah.
that
I
urged me.
can't believe they separated him. That's funny.
No, I mean, I'll save it for the draft reaction show. But after my 0 points from the draft, I remain at 27 points. Dom had 24 going into the draft. He received 2 points. He is up to 26, and Cody had 24 going in. He got 1 point. He's at 25.
Whatever.
Dom is at 26, not 27, because he only got 2 points, not 3. While he had 3 correct picks, only 2 of them were on the main show, which was the unspoken rule, kind of like the unspoken rule of I don't get to do actual picks.
First of all, you're the one who.
I know, Eric. You really don't have a claim.
It was my idea because I thought we would actually make picks.
Didn't you say let
We
me
were.
make actual picks? You didn't even objectify.
I literally said, when I said Roman and Veer, I literally said I'm not really predicting this. I'm just thinking wishfully.
I mean, that's on you.
Okay. You know what? Thank you for watching.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on one second.
No, he's gonna
No,
show
the
the
trigger
trigger
fall
thing.
out!
Alright, I'll see you guys later.